Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just kind of continuing my Legion Boss comparisons with different ships here. And this is, to me, probably one of the tougher of the Legion bosses. It's really tough not to get hit, and everyone kind of keeps screaming the Phantom and Thor main gun versus the Conqueror. And now, I would not recommend anybody using Cyrene on this. Just way too tough, especially if you're doing the Cyrene, getting your 0 to get your 50% damage with the main gun. If you get hit one time, you are pretty much toast. So I don't think anybody truly would use Cyrene on this. So I am not going to use Cyrene for today, but maybe we'll use a couple of other ships as just a comparison, just to see what happens. But as always, I'm going to show you my technology real quick, and I do have a little bit of a different technology, just a tiny bit, not really though, and I'll show you what I mean. I do have this technology set up for Legion Boss, and I have it set up for Titan. So it would not be a bad idea to have a little bit of defense going against this if you're getting hit a lot by this Legion Boss. It would be a really good idea to have a little bit of defense on anyways. And so me personally, this would be probably my most solid tech, all around tech setup. If you're trying not to spend a bunch of diamonds and you just want to be able to get a decent score in Legion Boss, and especially a Titan, and just be able to compete, not trying to beat the biggest guys out there, this is what I would use as my general tech setup. And so right here I have 35 on the reduced damage from aerial, reduced damage from bosses. But what is this one? It is a ground boss. Now I'm not going to fight this with the ground boss technology turned on, so I'm just going to leave it because I am going to do Titan after this. I'm not really trying to go after the high score, but technically, guys, if it's ground boss, you would want your ground technology. If it's an aerial, you'd want your aerial. So I, again, am kind of set up a little bit more for Titan, but decided I'd just go ahead and do this video anyway. So just make sure if you are trying to go after the high score, put in the right technology slot for what you're doing. And then my damage increase, generally for me and where I'm at, I'm going to be about 65 to 75. But you got to remember, guys, these two technologies are incredibly expensive. So you don't want to, blow all of your money and all your coins into this whatsoever. You want to balance that out. You do want to put a little bit on the defense, depending on what size you are, but put a little bit. If you're a medium player, kind of like I am, I would recommend about 35. And just kind of gauge where you're at, and just try to make it a little similar. If you don't have the tech points that I do, like I said, just kind of average out where you're at to what I'm showing you, and you should be okay. But again, on my damage increase for the general play and Titan, generally, just so I have more tech points into my weapons at the same time, I'm going to be about 65 to 75, but I kind of lean a little bit more towards the 65 because why? So I can put a little bit more onto my weapons. Like I said, there's a fine balance into too much defense, too much offense, too much of the damage increase. Because again, these technologies are very expensive, and you don't have to, completely go all offense. You don't have to go completely. Just have this nice little rounded balance. Put a little bit of defense, and put it towards your damage increase. And then this is my setup right now for the technology that I have. And you can see I want to max out my base to my main gun, and max out the critical damage and critical rate, of course. And even so, I still do put a little bit onto the main gun attack rate because I do missions. And again, the Legion Boss, it does work with Conqueror. So that's why you always see me do put a little bit there. You're seeing me because I have the extra tech points because I didn't put it into my damage increase or enemy weaken. I do have enough to start putting into my wing gun. Now, I'm not telling you guys not to put technology on your wing gun. It's just if you don't have a lot of technology, put it where we know that it counts, and that would be your main gun and your missile. So I do have a little bit extra, so now you're starting to see me just pump that up a little bit. And then, of course, look at my missiles. I do have them pretty much maxed out. And you always want to do your increased armor base, especially with Titan, and especially in Star Scramble and Planet Wars. So right here, here it is. And what we'll do here is let's go to my gems, and we can see I am actually already set up for ground, because I've been, you know, my tip to you guys, I keep throwing in tips on other things while we do these videos, but one of my tips, you know, if you're on those really tough missions with the ground enemies, put your ground stuff on. I mean, it's that easy. And so you see here, going through some of those missions, it's not really the game that's tough, it's the lasers and it's the ground guys that are really tough in those. And so you see here, here's my little secret. I just put the ground on. And then if I really get stuck, then I'd go and put the ground technology. But again, if you're not wanting to spend a ton of diamonds, always resetting, this would be kind of where, you know, you'd want to be at. Only difference is aerial. You'd want to put on your aerial gems. But again, we are on a ground boss. So I could technically do this, though, because it is a boss. You can see here's my ground gems. And I'm going to remove these on purpose, because everyone's always like, well, do you go straight ground? For this one, I would actually, you know, go back to what I'm telling you guys. So if you look at my against boss attack, I have the red star on this one. And then I have another red star. So it'd be really smart of me, because I know I'm doing a boss and I know I'm doing ground, to use again, what? Your best gems. And so right here I have a boss, and then I have my best gems in for ground. So that would really be the proper way to set it up. If you're just trying to maximize and say, hey, I want to maximize my gems, but I want to use them the correct way, that would be the right way. And again, here it is. Got my Conqueror, and we will do the same thing. We'll test this out with the Conqueror versus a couple of other ships, and we'll see how this goes. Yeah, for me, I think this is the toughest out of all the Legion bosses. And a lot of people still, even though I have a lot of these videos up, are asking, why don't you use this spread on the Conqueror? So maybe we'll do this again. We know that the spread is spread, and it is weaker. And yes, it can hit more multiple targets. But your Vulcan straight, I always call it the straight shot, your Vulcan cannon straight shot is proven to be more powerful. But just for the test of this, we will go ahead and use this. Me personally, this is kind of how I do it. Some of the guys sit in the middle here and just dodge back and forth. But me, this is kind of how I do it. What I like about Conqueror on this one is once you get to here, you can just turn this on. Now, look at my bullets here. When I'm in Titan, you can see I'm trying to maximize it a little bit, not going too high, not too low, but still trying to get those bullets to hit those two side Gatling guns, basically firing at you. So 121.2 with the spread shot Conqueror on this. So we're basically going to do it again, but now we're going to do it with the straight shot, or the Vulcan cannon straight shot. Just kind of what I call it, guys. So we'll have that comparison, because I still have players asking me, why aren't you using that? And right here will kind of show you why. Now again, as I've said in the other ones, you guys see, especially in the Conqueror, you want to tuck back here a little bit and let your missiles work for you. And again, I think another reason why I do it like this is when I'm in the Conqueror, I have that straight shot, and so it's easier for me to pinpoint in on those Gatling guns firing at you. Okay, so right here, you see I'm going to come up just a hair higher than I really normally would, but I'll get my bullets to work for me here in the Titan transformation mode here. But right here, guys, with the straight shot, I've already beat the spread shot. Now again, with the spread shot hitting multiple targets, you'd think you'd get a higher, but that's just showing how powerful that straight shot Vulcan cannon really is. And so that's why you see me, especially with the Titan, use the straight shot Vulcan cannon versus the spread. And the spread a lot of times on the Legion boss, because that straight shot is that much more powerful. And yes, that's what you should be using on the Conqueror. On your missions and things like that, I'll play generally the missions with the spread pretty much the whole time. Maybe a strong foe, I might turn on the straight shot for a minute just to get it done a little bit quicker. But yep, so there's answering that question again. Why not use the spread versus, and right there, what is it, 20 billion more on that? So yeah, the straight shot would be the better. But again, going back to what everybody's favorite here is I'm going to level this down, guys, on purpose here. I'm going to put in my Thor main gun, but again, everybody loves the Thor main gun combo with Phantom, and that is recommended by a ton of players to use it on this Legion boss. So let's go ahead and we'll select that. And yes, this is fully upgraded, just in case I haven't never showed that, but it is fully upgraded, guys, on that one. So let's go take a swing at the Legion boss in this one with the Phantom and the Thor main gun. And again, the Thor isn't the most powerful weapon, but as far as hitting multiple weapon or targets at the same time with this weapon, it absolutely is. So sometimes your most powerful doesn't mean you're going to get a higher score, just like the Vulcan cannon, versus you have a pretty powerful weapon that's hitting multiple targets, you're going to get more points. Guys, and 140, I think I actually got hit there, guys, before the end. No, it was 0. So let me go back, and actually, you know what, we might do that again. Okay, so let's do that one again just in case, guys. But that was pretty comparable to the Conqueror. Really comparable. But let me try that again real quick, guys. I'm going to do that one, and we still have one more as the comparison. But again, this is the reason why I would not use ever Siren on this one. I mean, you just get hit once, and especially if you're at 0, regards to the 50% increased damage, I mean, you're going to have to be a pretty dang amazing player, which we know they're out there, but I wouldn't risk using Siren, so you're not even going to see me use that as a comparison in this one. So, but let's try it one more time here, because I was kind of playing a little bit sloppy there, and I apologize, guys. The only thing I don't like about Phantom is how long it takes to get into that Furious mode, so I'm always looking over to the left and sometimes not really paying attention to what's in front of me, and that's the only complaint I have about Phantom is, man, it takes a little while for that to charge. But as of right now, it was pretty comparable to the Conqueror, so well, let me play this just a little bit better here, take it a little bit more serious, guys. And again, if you got a good combination or anything that you're doing that you think, you know, it'd be a cool combination, or even to see if it works, I mean, please leave a comment. I do read everybody's comments. I do watch everybody's videos, and you know, please send me anything and ask anything. If I have the answer, I'll try to give it to you. But again, guys, I'm not a master at this game either. Just enjoy playing it. But again, look how long it is taking to get into that Furious. And it doesn't take much to get hit by this and lose points here. Okay, so right there, I think this was the right way to do it. So obviously Phantom did beat the Conqueror pretty easily here. And so, yes, I would have to agree, Phantom and Thor main gun on this one to maximize your score. But I still have one more play here, and that's why I didn't mind doing 2 of those on that one. Let's go back to equipment. And you know what? Just because I haven't seen anybody use Crow on any of these or even talks about Crow. So why don't we just, you know, let's just see what happens. Why not? Okay, so Crow and Thor's main gun on this one, if I can survive. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, again, I think this is the hardest of the Legion bosses here. And again, if you're using that Conqueror armor doing this, be sure you're buffing that as much as possible without taking too much damage or any damage at all, because you will get a little increase to your score and a little bonus by doing that. I always thought that was a little ridiculous, getting a bonus by getting hit. Never really understood that about the armor here. And you know, here's the crows too. Look how long it's taken for that Furious to come into play here. Kind of a pain. Okay, yep, that's why you wouldn't use Crow. Not a horrible score by any means, but again, going back to this, it would be Phantom, Thor main gun, Conqueror wing gun, Conqueror missile, and Conqueror shield is the best combo for this. And again, it kind of depends on your guys' setup. All you have to do is just do the same thing. Go in there, just go give it a test for where you're at. Don't worry about if you have it all. Don't worry about if you have all the stars. Don't worry about, just go in and test. Just, that's the best way to do it, to see what's working for you. Is you see, just go in there. We do this weekly. I mean, you're not going to lose that much by, seeing what is working best for you guys. So again, don't be afraid to try it, regardless if you think it's not going to work, or because I've said this in the other videos, you never know that you might be missing out on more points by not trying it. So don't get stuck into old habits and old ways of thinking. Always look to, test the game and look for the updates and see what the updates do. And the game does change a little bit. They do fix bugs here and there. Things do change all the time. So some of the stuff that might have worked in the past might not work now, and vice versa. So continually test your chips and test your equipment, and don't be afraid to try something new here, guys. And most of all, just have fun. Until next time, guys.